Hello guys, this is Green Guy with Green Guy Finance. Another video here. So, where do we start? If you're a new follower and you haven't seen his videos before, I guess what to expect here is a little bit of everything. We go through the major indices almost every time, but I keep that very brief. We also go through some of the notable plays of the day, and in addition to that, some things to look forward to. And today we have some of the plays being some of the things to look forward to. So, four things that I highlighted as being playable tomorrow. We're going to end off with those. But as always, let's go through the major indices first. For those of you that hate the major indices, I'd say grow up. I have a lot of you say, why do you spend so much time on the SPY? And honestly, it's because that is how you get a good setup. You have to know what kind of stocks to look at and what kind of plays to look at depending on your market cycle. And our market cycle has changed from today going back a week ago. On your chart here, this is the daily volumes, the daily prices. There's a week ago. A week ago, we were playing catch-up. Well, I guess you could sort of call it a V-shaped rally, but the catch-up is over. We are now playing the how much higher can you go game, which is a different game with different names played. The actors are different. So instead of looking for the momentum names that are going to pop every day, you're looking for cult stocks, Apple and Alibaba, names that resonate strong strength. In addition to that, the small caps have been doing pretty well. You're looking for newer names to fold into that mix because people aren't going to dump all their cash into Facebook like they used to. Things like that. So the plays have changed. In addition to that, those of you that do play the SPY, it has been pretty easy money. I think you would agree. When we are getting close to the new all-time highs of 202s, that is a good time to look to take a put on the market or to protect your position because we do have a lot of market correlation with some of the bigger names. So for those of you that do like that sort of thing, set your alerts. Set it a little bit lower than the 202s. And when your ticker gets close to that, it'll alert you and then just put on an appropriate position. All-time high plays are so sweet. It does not get any easier than these. But we're not going to be looking for strangles in the market like we have in the past. We're mostly looking for directional plays. Not going to go through the other major indices, but we do need to take a look at oil. For those of you wondering what today's market reaction was, a lot of it was to the oil. Just put it on your radar. I don't need to go into a whole lot, but the fact that oil opens up so low and didn't perform well today freaked a lot of people out. If you caught it early enough, you had your head screwed on tight, you knew the direction of the day. That was all there was to today, to be honest, in terms of I'm going to take a put on the SPY and then make money, was the oil. That was it. I mean, just have it on your radars, people. I can't overemphasize that enough. Take a quick look at gold. Gold here, we've had 3 days of flat. We want to see oil and gold rebound here because there are correlators for the market and they're getting a lot of attention, freaking people out. We've had, if you even take a look at the VIX, we're down at the 15s. We've had this lingering fear in the price action with the marketplace. Despite coming close to a new all-time high here, we've had this lingering fear. A lot of this must be paid attention to because a lot of people aren't convinced that we deserve the 202s that we have achieved. The new all-time highs, the above 200s that we've been maintaining. We want to see the VIX go below 12. We want to see oil rebound from its incredibly low prices back up to something that's reasonable so that some of the oil rigs can start drilling at a profit. And having these things go back is needed if we're going to start breaking out of those 202s. Even the treasuries are still at the 119s. We're still incredibly high on a lot of things that should be corrected if we were going to go much higher. So put these things on your radar and then put them in the back of your minds. Okay, guys? All I'm going to say about the macro. Now, plays of the day, starting off with this one. So, Straight Path Communications. I made a lot of money on this today. Made a double. Did I technically make a double? I trimmed cost basis, so I guess you could say I haven't made a double yet, but I could have cashed in for a double. But I think it's going to shed more overnight. So, first off, let's start off. How did this progress? So basically, I got an alert from my programming right at market open, made me do a complete 180 on my positions, and took out a put. Simple enough. Let's talk about the pattern of the chart. At least the trend line here up until about 11:30 is pretty typical. You usually have a down motion followed by a rebound action. This rebound action is clueless people buying a dip. That's pretty much all that is. This is not short covering. This is clueless people buying a dip. The rest of this is just price action battling itself out like you always see it, right down to a bottom. And what I always do is say, just wait. 11:30 is usually when you're going to see the earliest bottom of a slam piece pattern. Usually it is actually 12:30, but this one was not signaling a 12:30 pattern from what I had mapped out. It actually broke, and then I covered right down here at the bottom. So I didn't cover down here necessarily when it first dipped, but right when it broke my trend line. And that's pretty much as simple as it gets. You just got to keep those few things in mind and know your parameters. Slam pieces are very, very, very formulaic. That's it, guys. The only thing I would say in addition to that, the rest of the day's price action indicates to me that this go down another 5% easily from where it is. So it's at 17.37. Take 5% of that. You're charging another 80 cents off of this minimum. But I really think it's going to hit a $15 price target within a week. I would say very easily. Keep it on your radars, because if you like shorts or plays like that, this could be an easy one. Let's go on to another horrible name, Beezer Homes USA. This was another example of a slam piece. This was the second of 3 that we had today, and this one was a valuation slam on a valuation name. Now, slow names like this that have small reactions, because they're considered safe names, are to be expected. So this is a different beast than the previous ticker we were just looking at. And what you look for in names like this are next day reactions. And you look at the ownership. You must always know the stability of a stock if you're going to take a put out on it and ride it out overnight, in my opinion, period. So the ownership on this indicates that it was relatively stable when I first invested in it. So I knew from the get-go I'd be riding it out overnight, most likely. I had made, 10% at this point, and then lost it pretty much throughout the end of the day rally. But like I said, pieces like this, you expect the next day movement. So that's what I'll be looking for. I've covered my gap from the bid to the ask on my options. Going to be looking for it tomorrow, go down 10, 20, 30%. That's what I'm looking to make. Not the stock. Going to make 10, 20, 30% of my options, not the stock going down 30%. I'm sorry, but that's what we'd be looking for. Something realistic in these names. This will probably be a slow bleeder, and I like fast-paced things. But had a little bit extra cash in the account, so that's what I did. If you guys are interested in shorting it, I would recommend you keep your eyes on it. Tongue-tied. Anyways, moving forward, let's take a look at GoPro. GoPro had a Citron Research report out on it. If you guys haven't heard of Citron Research or Adam Leff, it is a guy that does short side analysis, and that's pretty much all he does. And when he comes out with a piece, it usually sends people scattering, and it might sound dramatic, but that really is the way it is. He killed NQ Mobile and Questcore, slammed those really hard. Amongst others, Plug too was in there, and he took that down to where it is currently at barely even a stock. But let's take a look at this one. So this is the arrow of when the piece came out, right there, and you can see the reaction throughout the intraday here, and what happened, which is basically an hour in, it took a dive, which is pretty atypical. So this is a very odd pattern. I actually didn't think that this piece would have the effect that it did when it happened. So that's that. You can't know everything all the time. But given that it did have a reaction, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on it tomorrow. You can bet that. Because this has every indication of wanting to go lower, that this is a fear-based movement. And it could be very nasty tomorrow. So keep this on your radar for the downside tomorrow, or if we open up superbly, just decimated in the morning, for a nice bit of short covering, because you can bet there are a lot of shorts on this stock after today. Okay, that's that. Let's take a look forward at some of the other plays that we might want to do in case you aren't into shorting or taking downside on stocks. This is a really complicated looking picture, basically just showing the earnings plays that are coming up. Zillow is white, Stratasys is blue, SolarCity is yellow, and Ctrip is pink, and price action is Tesla there. These are the earnings plays coming up. Wednesday. If you guys aren't familiar with Estimize, I love it. Estimize is a great site that basically they just have average people giving estimates on earnings reports. You can see they also recently added this, the economic reports, but Tesla is going to be aftermarket close, Zillow aftermarket close, Ctrip aftermarket close, and Stratasys before market open. Okay? Now, where did I go? There we go. So, Tesla first, after market close, could have a huge dive in my opinion because that's been the trend. The trend being that if you hit all of your numbers, but you are off on your guidance, you are going to take a huge plunge. Now, this chart here has Ford in blue, GM in white, and Tesla in the price action. And although they're all correlated and trending pretty nicely and happily here, I think Tesla could take a monster whammy. It is a name that can easily be attacked because they do not have great auto sale numbers. They have this anomalous company that has batteries and everything else, yada, yada, yada. But their sales haven't been fantastic, and they are a long-term growth company. That doesn't seem to deter a whole lot of people from selling in this recent market environment. They are short-term, and short-term. So I think Tesla could have a huge hit tomorrow. That's one thing to keep an eye on. The other one is this. I didn't have the money to take a put out on Stratasys, but look at the trending with Triple D and Stratasys here. I think I would have liked to have taken a put out on Stratasys because of the huge gap between Triple D and SSYS. Now, what is that difference caused by? There might be a couple things, but Stratasys is a buyout candidate for one. Two, it is an industrial 3D printing company, so that's a little different. But it has broken trend with 3D printing, and I don't believe that its numbers or guidance are going to be anything that's going to keep people with this stock suspending it in midair. I think it has to come down to earth. So I would expect a drop in the morning. If we have a drop in the morning, because the numbers come out before market open. One of my favorite plays in this market has been not playing the earnings, but playing the rebound the morning after, because they have been very predictable. So if we see a 10% drop in Stratasys tomorrow when we wake up, and the options open up early in the market, you can guarantee yourself I will be looking at it and probably buying it, unless I find a better play. But that has been an easy way to make money in this market. If you don't want to play earnings, like me, I usually hate playing earnings. I was willing to play this one. But if you don't like playing earnings, playing the rebound and reaction is much easier. So keep your eye on that. Priceline and Zillow I don't want to get into too much. Zillow seems to be trending really nicely. I don't know how much room there is for it to fall. That's one note. But I don't want to make a whole lot of comments on Zillow. But I do want to go through really quickly Baba generally, saying this thing is a monster. Every day, Apple and Baba, I wake up, are the strongest out there. So I would keep a strong eye on Baba and look for any dip opportunities to buy or to put calls into, because this monster has every indication of wanting to go to the moon. It is now on my official go-to chart. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, follow me. Send me stocks you want me to go through if that's your thing. If not, whatever. Do your own deal. Good night, guys. Let's make some money tomorrow.